What's up guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. If you're watching this video right now, I'm guessing you're not profitable. I don't know how long you've been trading. Maybe you're new, maybe you've been trading for a while, but you don't seem to make any money. This is probably going to be the most important video you have ever watched, because when it comes down to why most traders lose, ultimately it really isn't down to your strategy. It is going to be your psychology. If you guys have gotten data on a winning system, you guys know that what you're doing is profitable long term and you're losing money. What does that come down to? It's psychology. Me personally, this week that we just had has been one of my hardest weeks. I took one trade and it was break even, so literally nothing for me to trade this week. Could other good traders, have won this week, had a great week if they trade differently? Yes, but for my strategy, the way I trade, I did not execute on anything besides one trade, and that is the hard part about trading, is having patience, identifying when to, trade, when not to trade, right? I know my system. I personally know my system. I know when to execute, and just following that system, I am not going to take anything. And what I could do is rush into trades, lose trades, execute emotionally, say like, bro, I need to get a trade in, and just get, absolutely lose, right? Now, that is literally just because I know my own data, I know how I trade, and I execute when it's available, right? There's gonna be times where, first of all, you're not going to get your setup. You're not going to get the setup that you back tested, and you're just going to have to watch, sit there, watch, not execute. That is going to be the hard part, because that's when the aspect of patience will kick in, and you could rush into trades. You could force a setup. You could take trades that you shouldn't take. That's the real hard part about trading, guys, is identifying, once you identify your system, you have to know when to have discipline, when not to trade, when to hop off. Like, without that, you guys will never be profitable. You can be the best, trader analysis wise, but if you don't have the patience to wait for that setup that you back tested, and then you take some bullshit, you blow your account, dude, you're just not going to be profitable long term. It's really that simple. Like, that is the hardest part about trading, is the fact that most of the time you're waiting. You're waiting for the setup to appear, and you're not doing anything. You're sitting here, right? You're sitting here in the morning, and you're watching these candles, right? You might sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and not see anything, right? If you cut it at 2 hours, then you're off for the day. You just sat there for 2 hours and you got off, right? That's hard. It's hard to sit there 2 hours out of your life, right? Sitting, watching lines and not take anything. It's gonna get tempting. You're gonna say, bro, I've already been here for 2 hours. I might as well take something. Like, I don't wanna waste my time, right? That is the hard part. You can easily turn, it's obviously easy when conditions are nice, following your system, right? To execute, blah, blah, blah. But when you guys are faced with harder conditions, you take shitty trades, right? You lose the shitty trade, and then you just break down and blow your account. Because you take a trade you shouldn't have taken. You tell yourself like, bro, why did I take this? I'm so stupid. And it's like, dude, like, I have to make it back. I'm already down for the day. I need to make it back, right? That is the issue. That is the main issue, is you don't have patience, bro. Did this week suck for me? Yes. But did I just wait? Because I know that, okay, next week I'm going to follow my system, month over month. Okay, I know my data. So even if you have, a hard streak, even if you need to just sit patient, that long term you are going to be profitable. One of my, mentors, this guy I talked to that has made 8 figures trading at 19 years old. He gave me, back when I was unprofitable and my biggest struggle was psychology and over trading, he gave me he called it like a 30-day, 30 trade challenge, right? And the way the challenge worked is you had to execute 30 trades following every single one of your rules. Now, it doesn't matter if it took you 2 weeks to get that first trade in. You had to execute every single trade following your system. And if there was one time where you broke your trade, if you broke your rules, you had to completely reset. So you have to reset your balance if you're on a live account, or you had to buy another funded account, just if you broke your rules once, right? That was one of the hardest challenges I had to do, but it genuinely helped me to realize that this whole game is patience. This whole game is literally a waiting game. Trading itself is not that hard. We know traders profitable trading very simple strategies. We know traders profitable trading complicated strategies, right? But what do both of them have in common? They are patient enough to wait. They're patient enough to wait through, bad price action objectively for their strategy, right? And not execute. They do not get emotional. That is the hard part. It is really hard, guys. It's not easy. It genuinely is not easy. But every single trader, I've talked to, even traders like, scalping a lot, taking multiple trades a day, traders that take 2 trades a month, right? All these different systems that, yes, all of them make money, but all of them are going to stick to that system. And that is the issue, guys. You need to actually follow what you have data on. It's genuinely that simple. It sounds easy to say, right? It's like, yeah, no shit, you should follow, your strategy, but it's hard. Most of you guys, if you're watching this video, I promise you, you do not. You probably have a strategy that works. Maybe it isn't the most profitable, but you definitely have a strategy that works. And the reason why you're not losing money is you'll take a trade that's, not really directly aligning with what is an A+ trade, and then it's a bad trade, you lose, and then you just crash out and you take 5 more losses, right? That is the issue, guys, is ultimately you do not have patience. And there's really 2 ways to go about it. One, you're either going to lose so much money that you're going to be forced to lock in, and that is what's probably going to happen to a lot of you guys, is you're generally going to lose so much money, put yourself in a really bad spot, and you're going to tell yourself that, okay, what am I doing? Maybe I should start following my system. Maybe I should follow what I have data on, right? The second option is, if you're watching this, you think to yourself, bro, what am I doing? Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I don't have to lose every single dollar. Maybe I don't have to put myself in debt. Maybe I should actually start following my trades. Maybe I should start actually following my rules. It's that simple. If you click on this video thinking I was gonna give you some secret, bro, I'm sorry, bro, there is no secret. You know the answer. You know what you need to do, but yet you don't do it because you're weak-minded, because you get into that gambling mentality and it's hard to get out of. I understand. But I promise you, if you apply that 30 trade challenge, if you set back, you genuinely go into each day telling yourself you don't want to trade unless your system is present, and you apply that mindset every single day, you apply that 30 trade challenge, I promise you, you will end up green. If you haven't passive funded, you will passive funded. If you haven't gotten a payout, you will get a payout. If you haven't had a green month, you will have a green month. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. That is all it is. That is what the data tells you that you have probably collected. So hopefully this is a little wake-up call for you guys to realize, okay, you are the only person you can blame. You are most likely the problem, and actually apply it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to, subscribe if you guys want, and comment any questions you guys have. Join the free Discord, and I will catch you guys in the next video.